So I'm back in Texas doing my handstands, got on my disco sequins, and of course, John's got his jokes. But then we get into this Coldplay Kiss Cam scandal. CEO, HR lead, viral chaos. And trust me, as per usual, I got some thoughts about boundaries, internet sleuths, and why some folks just need to mind their own business. Buckle up and meet me in the comments.
This is John Dunson, and welcome to another episode of I Take Your Point podcast. I am joined by my lovely co-host, Miss Lynn Sequins, because she is wearing apparently something from the bygone era of disco. How are you doing today, Miss Lynn?
I am well, and there's never a bygone era of disco. It's always the 70s in my head. I'm doing really great. And you, sir?
Always better than I deserve. Thank you for asking. How was your week?
I did some traveling, so I'm back in the great state of Texas, and I've got great news. I was able to do a handstand today. I haven't been able to do one in like a month because I had a terrible massage, but I'm back in business.
No one cares. No one, literally no one cares. But I'm glad that you were able to do a handstand. Hopefully that will bring some oxygen to your head. So maybe that's, again, what are you doing with your hair?
It's Texas, man. I just let Texas do what Texas wants with my hair, and I just go with the flow.
That's not Texas. That's you
It's
putting on
Texas.
your hair and just looking like a wild woman.
Wild, that is a strong adjective. What's on your agenda? Oh, actually, how was your week, sir?
Well, thanks for asking. I was in the great city of Boston. Obviously, Boston was in the news a little bit this week. One of the things that Boston was in the news for was you had the CEO of Astronomer and the HR chief people officer, I believe, of Astronomer caught up at a Coldplay concert. That was the talk of social media this week. What say you in terms of that event and what happened?
Some thoughts on that.
Why am I not surprised?
It's just this Kardashian effect that I call it. That we collectively again have this obsession with people's lives. Like we just need to have the intricate details of what's going on in their life. And I really take issue with the person that posted this. Right, because she doesn't know their life. Anything could be going on. They could have an open marriage. And now you've put this woman in a position where she has to defend herself, defend her family. It impacts her kids. You don't know what's going on. It's not your right. It's not your place to infringe on someone's personal life. She wanted 15 minutes of fame. So she'll be on the circuits and talking about, yes, I just feel so sanctimonious. And I feel like this, I don't have any skeletons in my closet. Stay in your lane, watch Coldplay. Why are you even there at Coldplay, number one? And two things. Coldplay got some additional attention. Astronomer got some attention because who even knows about either one of those? And I feel that that's a private matter between the families. It's a private matter between the husband, the wife, and her baseball bat. Whatever she wants to do with it. Stay out.
Yeah, I disagree. I'm not going to put the onus on the lady who posted the video because she did not know and she was just.
Why would she do it then? What was the purpose?
Well, obviously she did it because of the reaction.
Other than attention.
Yeah, I don't get the reaction of the CEO and the CPO.
But why does she need to do it is my purpose. Which you get a life, lady. Maybe you need to go and have something exciting happening in your life that you need to infringe on someone else. You don't know. You impacted not only these two families, their children, that company, all because you don't have shit to do in your life. And you're like, you know what? I'm about to get me 15 minutes of fame. Between those two families. It's not between.
Yeah, but this lady who posted the video, she did not know any of that.
Like, so shut the fuck up and just go on about your life. I'm sorry, I keep cussing. What is happening with me? Oh my God, it's Texas. It's that handstand.
Sequence that you're wearing. Oh, I mean, I take your point with respect to she does not know what was going on in the families. She does not know whether or not there was an open marriage that existed between Mr. Byron and his wife, nor was it any of her business. No, that said, the response that Mr. Byron and Miss Cobalt, I believe her name is, and I could be.
Why do we even know their names, number one?
We don't know their names because of the response.
Why do we need to know their names? We don't need to know any.
We need to know their names because they are now in the zeitgeist with respect to what it is that's going on with social media and attending these concerts. Now, I do agree with you that in the era of social media, we do have a tendency to try to make everything viral and try to our moment. We sometimes forget that at the bottom or at the back of all this, there is a family. Mm-hmm. And this family, for whatever reason, and for reasons that none of us will understand, are going to ever be impacted. Now, this thing is a meme. So you're seeing now that at most sporting events, individuals are sort of recreating what they would do if they're caught on the Kiss Cam. It's called now the Coldplay Kiss Cam. Individuals are creating names.
It pains me. It pains me for a lot of reasons. It pains me because, again, it's an infringement of personal people's personal lives, like just regular people. And it also pains me from the perspective of the wife. Obviously, I don't know. Maybe they do have an arrangement. I have no idea what's going on. But now I feel that if that was me, I feel like I now have to defend things. I have to defend the way I look. I have to defend my family. I have to defend my decisions. I have to defend everything. Who knows if this had been something that was not viral and they just sorted it out on their own through therapy and, like I said, her baseball bat. I don't know. But now it's become something that's impactful to her family. She has to talk to her kids about it. And I just feel that this Kardashian effect, which I call it, again, curating experiences to make yourself important, is impacting real people's lives. And we just don't ever think about the humanity part of it. And I know I'm getting really passionate about it because I do feel for these children. I feel for the wife.
Well, hold on. Well, and so I want to make certain that we're giving as many facts as we have.
As we know on the internet, which, oh my God, we know that that's so true.
So there was a meme that was going around that had a young lady who was purported to be the wife of Andy Byron and 4 kids. That was not his wife. It's my understanding that his wife, who is an educator of a school in Massachusetts, has 2, not necessarily grown kids, but grownish kids. So there are no young kids that are involved.
I still have feelings. And it's also, that's another thing, these internet sleuths. I'm going to go and I'm going to dig in your own house. What's your husband doing? What's your wife doing? Worry about that.
Well, yeah, I will take your point with respect to we do have a tendency to try to dig in people's lives. And part of that is if we have nothing going on in our lives, or if we have things that are going on in our lives that may not be as interesting as what it is that's going on in someone else's life, we may want to hold a mirror to them to say, look, my life is not that sucky compared to these guys.
No, it is that sucky. I will go ahead and dig in your life and I'll show you how sucky it is.
Again, Black Karen exists.
And to others as you have done unto yourself.
Because of Mr. Byron's actions, a couple things. One, astronomer has probably the best and worst week of its existence.
Right. I've heard of astronomer. Like, I will tell you
100%.
that I was digging. I was like, what is this astronomer? What is this? No one is like, now all of a sudden their search engine, their optimization's like through the roof. Nope. They're like, oh my God, we've got so many hits. No one knew you. Unless you
Well,
were in that space, you didn't know them.
A lot of people know them now. Again, Boston-based company who had some government contracts. Hopefully they will be able to hang on to those government contracts.
And that's another thing. And I'm not trying to prolong this whole thing, but the response from the company suspending them, unless there was something in a code of conduct that was explicit.
He has resigned.
Exactly. So unless there was something that was explicit in a code of conduct, that's, again, I'm doing my job. What I do on my personal time, as long as I don't have astronomer across my chest and I'm cuddled up with somebody, if I'm not advertising, that's my personal business, right?
So hold on. So he is having apparently an affair with the HR person. And I have both been in companies where there is that sexual harassment video that you have to watch when you're talking about sleeping with a subordinate.
Right.
So in this particular case, what I hear you saying is, as a CEO of a company, yes, there are things that you agree to when you sign your contract.
Right.
And one could say that because she was a subordinate with respect to being the chief people officer, she still did report to him. There could have been, in some people's minds, him taking advantage of her. Now, again, the flip side of that is we're talking about 2 consenting adults.
So again, what we need to do, and we don't have their employee handbook. I'm saying that if in the employee handbook, they're in the code of conduct, there's explicit language that there are steps they need to do if you're going to have fraternization of that level in the company. And if they follow those steps, or if it's not in there, what right then does the company have to dictate what you do in your personal life? If it was in there and they violate it, It is what it is. But if it wasn't in there, then you can't just say, you know what? I don't like who you're sleeping with. Well, I don't give a what you think who I'm sleeping with.
Literally, you have an issue with you really have an issue with this policy, and that's understandable. I
I
mean,
just
I
have
get
an
it.
issue with people stepping over boundaries. I have issues with that in terms of anything legal. We talked about, again, we're bringing up the Diddy thing, that I have an issue when you're overstepping.
You
You
just like
can't just apply the law and apply these moral codes at will. You can't, unless it's explicitly written, stay out of people's lives.
I take your point. Our thoughts are with the family members who are impacted who did not attend the Coldplay concert.
I admire them for not attending. Good for you.
For Mr. Byron and individuals like Mr. Byron, if you're going to attend the concert, they have these wonderful things called suites. Invest in a suite so that you're not on the Kiss Cam.
Just act like, you know what? Just act like nothing's going on. Had he not reacted the way he did, no one would care. They wouldn't have known, whatever.
He did act like a little bitch.
Don't do anything. Just, yay, throw your hands up in the air and wave them like you just don't care. Who cares? And we're all dancing here. I love Coldplay, whatever they sing. I love it.
Speaking of Coldplay, you have to love Chris Martin and the way that he is milking this, or the way that he outed them with respect to his comments.
Aren't there allegations with him? Like he probably recognized the signs.
Shots fired.
I'm just saying, again, do unto others.
Okay. All right. So you're saying that Chris Martin is an alleged
Allegedly.
guy. So he was married to the coochie
Gwyneth.
handle lady.
Yes, Gwyneth.
I don't get, why would you make it?
I don't know. That's it. For another.
Well, maybe that's why they got divorced.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, speaking of Coldplay, one of the things that came up in my meeting this week at the company that I work for was we're at dinner and the interesting question came up. It was, what's your first concert and best concert? And part of this is stemming from talking about the Coldplay incident at dinner. So I'll ask you, what was your first concert and what was your best concert that you attended?
Really don't want to tell you any of this because it's just going to feed into your narrative about me. But my first concert was Bobby Brown, and I don't attend.
Hold on, Bobby Brown, New Edition, or Bobby Brown, the makeup artist?
But I would totally go to a Bobby Brown, the makeup artist.
Because you going to Bobby Brown is not something that I would ever have put in the same sentence.
That was my very first one. My mom took me. Candy Girl. Yes, I went to that one. That was my very first concert.
Well, first of all, that's New Edition.
Whatever. Don't be cruel.
So clearly, you don't know the difference between a Bobby Brown concert and a New Edition concert. There are differences.
Don't be cruel. Okay, so yes, that was my first one. And then I don't want to hear anything out of your mouth after I say this, but my best one was here in Texas. It was in Dripping Springs, and it was Mr. Willie Nelson. It was an amazing concert. He just did a really great concert. It was outside. We were close. Shut up, John. It was good. He's just really engaged with the audience.
That's so on brand for you. The fact that your best concert.
And it was all fun, and we were just. I've been to ACL.
Do it with your hair.
You just make me hot. So we've been to ACL, so there's always that too. Can we move on?
What is it?
The Austin City Limits. It used to be a 1 week event, and all of these musicians would come in. It was like $35, 2 days of just all of these different stages of musicians coming in. You could just walk around. It was super cool. But then Austin became Plano, Texas, just so greedy. And now it's 2 weekends. It is a monstrosity. And I haven't been there in years, but a lot of well-known artists will come, and it's just 2 weekends of just music, all kinds of music.
My first concert that I remember attending was Luther Vandross and Anita Baker, and this would have been in 89, 90. And it was such an event. Luther gave great concerts. The best concert that I attended, and again, I was shocked that this would be one of the best that I attended, would be a Elton John concert.
Look at you.
Well, part of it is because Elton John is
Welcome. Come over.
John is a great storyteller, and it was a great concert. I truly enjoyed it. Also enjoyed Toni Braxton's concert, and this is going to tie back to Boston. This would have been in 97, 98, and she had Mint Condition. Do you know who mint condition is?
Again, what is up with these quizzes? It's just like random pop quiz.
It's not a random pop quiz.
In the past, you're not a teacher now. So just move on with your story. You don't need to have my input. It was a great story.
So,
You don't need to pause.
so if I'm saying she had mint condition backing her,
I'm
asking
left
you,
over.
mint condition, you don't know.
Why do we need to know that? I mean, I don't understand what the purpose of this conversation is. Could you please continue? Again, focus. Thanks for tuning in to another lively conversation on I Took Your Point. This podcast is a production of the SME LLC Media Group. All rights reserved. If you are enjoying the show, hit the subscribe right corner. And don't forget to like, share, comment, and check out past episodes. Until next time, take care and be well.
Boys, we got them